Hi friends, how are you? By blessings with the God, you are doing well. Once again, I am welcoming to all of you to Dr. A B JENA classes. This is Dr. Jena, Senior Assistant Professor, PG Department of Business Management, Hokirimon University, Best of Bihar, Balasore, Odisha. And today we are going to discuss the very important topic. The topic is the part of the financial management, and it's related to the working capital management, and this discussion will be very helpful to the students of the commerce management, PMR, so far as the UG and the PG students are concerned. Okay, so dear friends, without delay we'll start our discussion, and today's discussion is what is the meaning of working capital and what are the different types of or kinds or the forms of working capital. Okay, so dear friends, so before discussion, kindly you take the screenshot. So working capital refers to the gross working capital. So without delay we will start our discussion. So working capital refers to the gross working capital, which represents the amount of funds invested in where the current assets. So dear friends, I have already posted the two separate videos. So what are the important factors? So they are normally influencing the working capital, as well as the concepts and the needs, significance, and the meaning and definitions of working capital I have already posted. So definitely I will have the requested. Okay, kindly you go through those, so you will know more and more understanding. Okay, so dear friends, without delay, and what is the meaning of working capital? So working capital refers to the gross working capital. Gross working capital, which represents the amounts of funds invested in current assets. Current assets, yes. So I have already also made one video with regard to the fixed assets and the the variable assets. So fixed assets and the working capital or variable assets. So what is the basic difference between these two? I have already discussed and I have already posted. So working capital, so gross working capital, I mean there are two types of working capital. First one is it's a as per our the discussion or the meaning of working capital, gross working capital, and the second one is that is the net working capital. Okay, so this is the classifications of the types or kinds of working capital. So it's divided in two parts on the basis of a concept, and the second one is it's on the basis of time. On the basis of the concept, working capital is divided in two parts: gross working capital and the net working capital, which we were discussing here. Then on the basis of the time, it's divided in two parts: permanent, or it's known as that is the fixed working capital, and the second one is that is the temporary or the variable working capital. Okay, dear friends, again the permanent working capital or fixed working capital, it's divided in two parts: regular working capital, second one is that is the reserve working capital. Similarly, the temporary or the variable working capital, it's divided in two parts, that is the seasonal working capital and the special working capital. So WC, it stands for working capital. Okay, so we will discuss one by one. So first, let's discuss the first one. It's on the basis of the concept. So on the basis of the concepts, it's divided in two parts, that is the gross working capital and the net working capital. What is the meaning of gross working capital? So gross working capital, it is the capital. CAP, it stands for capital. It is the capital, or gross working capital is the capital which is invested in total current assets. Current assets of a firm, or in mathematical equation, so GWC, it stands for the gross working capital is equal to what is this? Current assets. Total current assets. So it's in the total current assets. Yes. Second one is it's a category on the basis of the concept. It's the net working capital. What is the meaning of net working capital? So net working capital, it is the excess of current assets, okay, over the current liabilities. CL, it stands for current liabilities. Okay. In mathematical equation, easily you can calculate the amount of net working capital. So net working capital is equal to what is this? to current assets minus current liabilities. Here it may be the working capital, it may be the positive or it may be the negative working capital. Okay, if suppose current assets are more than the current liabilities, so in this situation, so there will be the positive working capital. If the current liability is more than or will be more than the current assets, so in this situation there will be the negative working capital. So that's why a farm or a business or a company must maintain the right amount of the working capital, otherwise the production process will be affected and the short-term liquidity position will be affected, and the business or the farm may not able to meet the short-term financial requirements. So I have already posted the separate video about the gross working capital, net working capital, the need or importance of the working capital. Kindly go through the previous videos, so you will get more and more insight. Okay, dear friends, now we will discuss the second one category of the working capital. On the basis of the time, it's divided into the permanent or the fixed working capital. Second one is that is the temporary or the variable working capital. So we will discuss one by one. First one is permanent or the fixed working capital. What is this? Permanent or fixed working capital, it is the minimum investment. It is the minimum investment, or firm has to invest the minimum amount, and which will be kept or which is kept in the form of inventory. What is the meaning of inventory? Okay, so inventory, so it's consists of what is this? That is the raw material, work in progress, finished goods, spare parts, and other items, also the book debts for smooth operation of the business. Okay, I have already told you, so that's why the working capital is very, very vital to the business organization. Okay, so it's the very, very important, that is the investment decision. So how much fund or the finance will be invested into the fixed assets, and how much of the fund will be invested into the current assets, I mean in working capital. Yes, dear friends, I am hopeful you are getting the points. Second one category. So permanent working capital, it's divided in two parts. First one is that is the regular working capital. What is this? It is the minimum amount of working inventories. Okay, what are the what is the meaning of inventories? Or the inventory consists of what is this? Inventories is equal to what is this? Raw material plus work in progress plus finished goods plus that is the spare parts, like so. Regular working capital, it is the minimum amount of working inventories, from inventory to the receivables. The raw materials will be converted into the final product. Then the final product will be sold to the customer. Okay, to the customers, it may be a firm may sell the final product in cash or the credit. If it's the credit, then the business or the firm has to receive the receivables, the account receivables, or from the sundry debtors. Then the receivables, receivables will be converted into cash. Again, the cash will be used to purchase the raw material for the production process. So that's why that is the regular working capital is most to the business organization or to a firm. And the second one category, it's the reserve capital. So reserve means it is the excess amount over the requirement of a regular working capital. The regular working capital, what is the regular working capital? Suppose let's take an example. Regular working capital of a firm is that is the 5 crores. So in this situation, a firm has to maintain the more working capital. It may be let's take an example, 5.5 crores. 5.5 crores. So it's that is the 50 lakhs. So 50 lakhs will be kept in reserve. Why? To meet or to face the unforeseen situations, or the contingencies. Contingencies like it. So if there will be the strike, or there will be the price rising, or the deflation in business cycle. So that's why if a firm will maintain the reserve capital, so in this situation the firm will able to meet the unforeseen situations or the events or the contingency. Like in this situation, if there will be the strike or the price enhancement or the depression like this. Yes. Come to the second last category of on the basis of the type, it's the temporary or the variable working capital. Temporary or the variable working capital. Yes. It's a yes. Another the important thing is, suppose the business is growing, and in this situation the business has to enhance the working capital, okay, or as per the business amount. Suppose the business condition or the business environment is not good, so in this situation the firm or the business will reduce the working capital. If the business is that is in prospering or the growth, development, modernization, expansion, so there will be the more requirement of a working capital. Okay, dear friends, the temporary or the variable working capital, what is this? It is the additional current assets, okay, temporarily over and above the permanent working capital. Okay, suppose let's take an example, that is the 10 crore, that is the permanent working capital is 10 crore. So here what is this? The temporary or the variable working capital. So there will be the over and the above the permanent working capital. Okay, it may be, let's take an example, the 12 crores. The business has to or firm has to maintain, okay, extra 2 crores. Extra 2 crores, okay. The 2 crores will be treated as here the temporary or the variable working capital. So why? Which is required, or a firm requires to meet the seasonal demands and some special, okay, exigencies. Yes. Let's take an example. In Puja vacation, Deepavali, Kali Puja or New Year. So normally the business or the companies or the farms, so they are producing more and more, okay, the goods in order to, okay, to meet the special occasion. Or in the case of, let's take an example, in the case of that is the winter seasons, in the woolen garment or the woolen garment companies or woolen garment companies, so they will produce more and more. So in this situation they will need, okay, the more capital. The temporary or the variable working capital, it's divided in two parts. That is, first one is that is the seasonal working capital, second one is that is the special working capital. Seasonal working capital, what is this? The capital which is needed to meet the seasonal needs of a farm, which I have already told you. In the case of suppose in the case of summer, okay, so in the case of the in hot season, so the manufacturing company of AC or the fan, okay, cooler, so definitely they will need more working capital. And in this situation, okay, to meet the special needs or the seasonal needs of the farm. Then the special working capital, what is this? Special, so it's a special working capital is that part of the working capital which is required to meet the special circumstances or the special exigencies. Like what is this? Suppose a farm will launch the extensive marketing, okay, campaigns for conducting the research, etc. So these are the types or kinds of working capital. So dear friends, I am hopeful you have learned a lot, and if you like this lecture, kindly, so I will request to all of you, kindly you share it, kindly you forward it, kindly you subscribe it. So once again, thanks a lot. Again, we will meet in another video. Okay, tab tak ke liye bye. Once again, thanks a lot to all of you.